Today we're going to create my daughter's favorite hairstyle. We're going to start by parting her hair all the way down in the middle. From the very beginning of her hair, I'm just going to try to part it a little bit here, and then I'm going to go the rest of the way down, part it completely in half. And now I'm actually I started on the left side, but I'm going to switch it up a little bit into the right side here so that you can see it first. So I'm just going to grab some hair about the ear all the way up, and I'm going to put that into a ponytail. We're going to do the exact same thing on both sides, so it doesn't matter what side you start on. So we're going to make this look nice and neat, and then we're going to put an elastic in it. And then we're going to pick up this other hair, and we're going to try to move it out of the way for us, because we're going to get just a little bit of hair at the bottom, and this is what is going to keep our butterfly from flying away off the hair. We're going to put a little bit of hair in an elastic down here so that we have something to attach our wing to and keep it sturdy. So we're going to move the hair out of the way so that we can put an elastic on this little bit of hair down on the bottom. And I'm going to wrap this quite a few times because we kind of want it tight so that it doesn't just come out really easily. If your girls are like mine, sometimes it pulls their hair a little bit too much. Sometimes I try to see what little pieces are pulling and pull those little tiny pieces out so that it's not hurting her hair. So this is the other side. We're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to start from the ear and go up, and we're going to want to make sure that it is completely straight all the way across on the second side that you do, because you're going to see that line when you have the butterfly in your hair. So you just want to make sure it's completely straight the second time on the other side that you do it. We're going to make it look nice and neat, and we're going to put an elastic in it. We're going to try to move the hair out of the way as much as we can. And then we're going to get a little bit of hair on the bottom. Again, it just has to be a little bit, but not too little that it just pulls their hair. You won't really be able to see it, but you just don't want a big clump there. So that's what the wing is going to attach to when you get done with it. So we're going to put an elastic in here. We're going to try to make it pretty tight. Wrap it quite a few times since there's such a little amount of hair. See, I'm trying to pull a little bit out so it's not hurting her. Now I'm going to let all the hair out. And then those two ponytails at the top, we don't want those in it. So I'm going to move those two top ponytails out of the way. I'm going to put a little clip into it to help it stay out of my way. And then I'm going to all the loose hair, all the rest of the loose hair, not the two bottom ponytails, but we're going to make one big ponytail with all the rest of the hair. I'm just going to put an elastic in it. Now I want to smooth it out. And then I can take those ponytails and let them free for right now. Now I put some water on it to help with the flyaways. I'm just going to get a little bit, I like using a comb to help get a little bit of hair. This little piece is actually going to be your antennas at the end. So you're going to get a little bit, you don't want too much, but if you have too little, then it's super difficult to work with. So you're just going to get a little bit of hair and you're going to put it off, and I'm just going to put it on the left side here so I can show you what happens on the right side. So I'm going to split the rest of that ponytail. I was going to do the left side again first, so I put that on the right side, but you're going to split the big ponytail there, and then you're going to pull that left side out of the way, or whatever side you're not working on first. So I'm going to do the right side here. So I just want to make sure I put some spray gel, some water in it to help with the flyaways. So on this top ponytail, I'm going to split it into 3, just like you're going to do a 3-strand braid. You want to make them as equal as possible. So I'm just going to split it into 3. And then my first stitch is going to be left over the middle. And when I'm doing that, I'm going to go and pick up some hair from that ponytail. And each time you do the left into the middle, you're going to pick up more hair. You're not going to pick up any hair when you do the right over the middle, as I did just there. I did left over the middle, and now I'm picking up more hair. And we're just going to continue to do that all the way down. You're going to want to keep it tight. Occasionally I'll brush out if it's looking a little bit ratty. I'm gonna get some more hair each time I do a left over right, or sorry, left over middle. I'm going to pick up more hair. The right over the middle is just a regular stitch, but the left over the middle, I'm going to pick up more hair. You don't want to pick up too much, but you don't want to pick up too little, just some so that you have more later. When you get down to the bottom, if it looks like you have too much, then you can have bigger pieces. Or if it's looking like you're having too little, smaller pieces. Just kind of estimate. I'm going to keep just doing that. Comb out any knots that you might have. I'm going to do about 2 more stitches to make it to the bottom of the end of her hair on her neck there. 1 more, and you want to make it tight, and you want to make sure that you try to keep it close to her head, because that's where it's going to go. So I'm just going to do a regular 3-strand braid going down. I'm probably not going to use all this later, but just to keep it tight, and then I'm going to put an elastic on it. Now, you're going to want to attach that braid to the little ponytail that you have on the bottom. And a trick is you want the elastic that you put onto it to be in between her head and the first elastic that you put in that tiny ponytail. And the reason why you want it in between them, because if you have it on the bottom of it, it'll just slide out and it won't really hold it down. So you really want to make sure that that little tiny ponytail is going to be on the outside part of the ponytail that you just attached it. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the other side, and the piece that we're going to do the butterfly, I'm just keeping it out of my way. And again, I'm going to start with the ponytail up top on the left. I'm going to make 3 strands as equal as possible. My first stitch, I'm going to want the inside one, so it's going to be the right over the middle on this side, and then I'm going to pull some hair. So your first stitch, you want to pull hair, and you want it on the inside part, depending on which side you're on. So this side is going to be, your right side is going to go into the middle first while picking up hair. I did a left side into the middle, just regular, and now I did another right side into the middle and picked up hair. And I'm going to do that all the way down to the end, just like I did on the other side. Try to keep those pieces that you're pulling from the middle, try to keep them as pretty, as straight as you can when you're pulling them into that braid. And again, you just want to see how much more you have left, how many stitches you think it's going to take to get to the bottom of her neck. I'm going to comb it out, try to make it as smooth as possible, and then I'm just going to braid down until I feel like it will reach the bottom of her neck with that little tiny ponytail that we did towards the beginning. Remember, that's what's going to keep it from being really loose. So it'll reach all the way down there, so I'm going to put a ponytail on it, an elastic, so now I'm going to get another elastic, and I'm going to attach the braid that I just did to that really tiny ponytail at the very bottom. And I want to make it tight to the head so that the elastic that I'm putting in right now is the closest one to her head, so that it doesn't just slip out. Now I'm going to go to the antennas, and I really like to make sure that I have these with lots of water, spray gel, because you need to do a braid almost to the very end. So I don't want to have a lot of flyaways. I want to make sure it's going to stay. Put spray gel in, some water. You do not want any flyaways with this, and you want it to hold without having any elastics in it. So I'm going to split this into 3. And you want to make them as even as possible, because it gets really hard at the end if they're not as even as possible. So it's going to be a pretty tiny little braid to make them as even as possible. And then you are just going to do a 3-strand braid once you feel like it's as even as it can be. I like to use the end of a comb to help pull them apart. And now we're just going to do a braid. Just left over the middle, right over the middle, left over the middle, right over the middle. We're going to do that all the way down. You're going to want to get it to the very end as much as you possibly can without having a ton of flyaways. And then I'm just going to use some spray gel here to try to get those flyaways to kind of go back to the braid and to kind of seal it, because we're not putting any elastics on it or anything. We're going to do a topsy tail. This is a smaller one. You can get topsy tails off of Amazon. So my kit had a big one and a little one. This is just a little one. And we're going to go through the middle, and we're going to want it a little bit to the left side. You don't want it in the center right now. You want a little bit to the left side. And you're going to try to not let go of that end and pull it through. My braid was flipping here, so I need to flip it back. Alright, and so then we're going to do it again. Now we're going to go up the bottom again, and I'm going to go to a little bit to the right side. Don't want it quite in the middle yet. I'm going to pull it through. Oh, it didn't come all the way. Gotta find it. And I want to pull it tight so it's not going to come undone. And then I'm going to go a little bit into the middle. I think I'm going to have to go around 2 more times. Normally I only go around 3, but I think her hair has grown a lot longer since I've done this last. That would be a really big antenna, so I'm going to want to go 1 more time, and now I'm trying to put them more to the very middle. So I'm going to pull it through. And pull it through, and now I'm smashing that braid together so that you're not seeing three separate pieces. I'm going to put a little spray gel from all the flyaways that she has from the other stuff. And I want to put that antenna, you see that antenna? Put some spray gel on to make it one solid piece, basically. So I'm just going to use some small bobby pins to keep that antenna piece in place. The braid that you wrapped around to make the antennas. I'm going to use just some bobby pins right inside there to keep that little braid that's making up the antenna in there, to hold it in, and so it doesn't come apart. Now we're going to split the antennas here. I'm going to put some spray gel. Again, there's nothing holding that braid together. That's why I've put so much spray gel in it. So now that I have it one big piece, I'm just going to split them in 2 and kind of curve them out to this side. Depending on how much hair you have left up there will depend on how big your antennas are, obviously. So then you bring them out to the sides and you're done with your antennas. And now I'm going to take out those braids at the bottom that we don't need. I like to have it just curls on the bottom so it intensifies the butterfly. So I'm just going to take out this braid on the right, and then I'm going to take out the braid on the left, and then I am just going to curl it. So there's our final product with curls on the bottom and our beautiful butterfly. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you were able to make a butterfly